So just looking at it here, the stuff that we've always talked about with you, getting you on that uphill line, getting your head behind the ball, your right shoulder slightly outside of your right hip. That all looks real good. Everything looks nice. Straight lines here, shoulders, hips, feet, all running parallel to our target line with a nice straight line all the way up from the head of the club to your left shoulder. As we start back, typically, we start with a short club here. Is, in general terms, Bill always takes the club too far inside. Then it comes over, then you hit a fade or a pull, and you come into me and say, "Start off, and my ball's not doing what we want it to do," and that's because of what's going on with your shoulder turn. Let me just grab them on. Make our backswing wider. So if we look at the difference between your right arm and Brad Snedeker's right arm, see how much longer his right arm is, which in turn is going to make the club go back straighter. And then also it's going to make a bigger circle going back, so when we close that coming down, we're going to get more power with the same amount of effort. Because when your arms get real close to your body that way, we see that your left shoulder gets really high at the top of your backswing. So you look like this. You probably feel that where sometimes even that shoulder turns your head a bit. And the reason why is because of how you go back. The club going in. You feel that raises that left shoulder up to where your shoulders are almost parallel to the ground. Here where we see that left shoulder working down. Then we see a much steeper shoulder, how that left shoulder's underneath the chin, and this angle is steeper than what we see with Bill.
So, like
I said, that looks good. Then we take it back to the couple feet. So let the club start to go up. Back down. So when that left arm is halfway back, we want to see your right arm a little bit more top. So you see right away that moves that shoulder up. Just look at that picture right there. Here's the step again. Now just move your head up and look at the picture. So your right arm's more on top. That's just going to make your backswing a bit wider. Let's do that again. One more time up. Yeah, like that. So if we compare that to these, come on, look at this. So we got that newer one on the right. Look at the difference in your shoulder turn. See that? See how high your left shoulder is? Here's Bill hitting one. And then here's the rest of that rehearsal backswing. So if we can get it steeper.
That's the highest I went.
Well, yeah, here you got more momentum. But this is where the change has to happen. We have to change the way we wind up. So here you can see that your left shoulder went down more, your right shoulder went up more, your shoulders turned steeper. Whether or not your left shoulder or your left arm stays straight, I really don't care about. If we look at it like Anton Cabrera, where you got three majors. And we look at when it goes back, we see that right arm on top of the left, we see the shoulder start to steepen on the turn. And as we go up, we can see, we wouldn't teach that, but look at the fourth lever, how bent that left arm is. But the big thing is how his shoulder clears underneath, which is why at 41 years old, he's still one of the longer hitters. It's that deepness in the shoulder. On the left. Look how much more your weight is behind the ball. Well, it's gonna, yeah, we've talked a lot about that. But now as we come in, we're gonna see a totally different position going through.
Left elbow.
Just a little bit, because part of it is because you swung it slowly. But right there.
That's the point too. That left elbow.
Is because when I look at this on this side, you can see that you are leaning backwards. On this side, not so much. We're moving through it more. Oh, that's just a little slow is all. This one still has chicken wing, not as much.
So you bend over, you get the chicken.
This is from not releasing. But that's going to happen all by itself. We don't want to worry a whole lot more to the right, like this. We're built back behind it. As we come into it, you don't need to reverse. So there's a good downward strike. We're not going to hit this ball heavy at all. As we go through, look at how your arms start to go long. That chicken starts to go away. And it's not because you're trying to keep your left arm straight going through. It's things are happening in the right order. Because you're not falling away from it. You get that feel a lot of times, especially with your driver, while you're back. Well, you're back because your shoulders are getting just a touch too flat. So if we steepen the shoulder, when your forearms start to rotate this way, when your left starts going over to the right early, that's going to drive that left shoulder up. And your swing's going to get a little bit too small.
So, I guess the takeaway is make sure you're keeping the right arm on the driver.
Oh, it works for everything. But this position right here is what's totally different. This is the right arm on top, not rolling over. You can see the shoulders are steepening. There's our tilt to the right, just like we want to see with our spine. As we come down into it, head stays back, handles leading forward. Yeah, just a little bit. I'm not real worried about that. That'll go away with speed. Because in all the golf balls I've seen you hit, I've never really seen you this much into your left side with that much lead to the handle. This ball's going to go really well just by those positions. How we're on our left side, the right knee's kicked in. Arms are pretty long going through. There's still a little bit of hold. This looks really good as we go back. There's what we're seeing. We're actually starting to see, I like to call the tour window there with your right arm on top of the left. Which we see here. Texas Boyd Campbell, Luke Donald we see, Brandon Flutie we see, David Thomas we see. Now the only thing I want you to caution against is if you get up to the top of your backswing and you feel like all of your weight is on your left side, that means that we didn't move to the right. But I don't see that happening yet. Nice angle to push off with that right arm.
Well, your weight 60 on your right side is leaning back.
Right.
I don't think.
See here, Bill, take a look at this before you go. We're starting to lose a little bit of your tilt. Because right now it looks like your weight is biased to your left leg. Get yourself balanced like we were seeing with the shorter foot. Where you're not leaning so far to the left.